Now, me personally, man, when it comes to drinking, I've always been one of those that can kind of handle their liquor. And what I mean by that is, once a tank, always a tank. You feel me? Started drinking at a young age, straight out the bottle, no chaser. So I kind of like adapted to it kind of quickly. But don't get me wrong, sometimes I might be way crunker than another. There's a lot of people that are incarcerated that made a mistake because they were under the influence of alcohol. And believe it or not, you got some people that situation goes from worse to worser. And for this video here, I'm going to be breaking it down and letting you know the exact thing that I am talking about when I say that. Let's do it. Same time of the week, better be there. Have my people send a message, make sure that they're time for me to collect, bring the shit over here. Cause you can tell them my face, don't make me come over there. I run up in your room, put my shank in your neck. Swear to God, I wet you up, better show me respect. I'm hitting licks like nut break bread with dogs. Putting on for east side, Davey, this K-fraud, it's a robbery. Heard what I said, I got some names I won't say. Most of them dead, for that tune you get there's a price on your head. Take the shit out your locker, throw it all on my bed. You got a daughter back you up, on care what you click. 2 lockers to fit both y'all shit. See me in the cut jamming, smoking the rip. Getting tatted with the money that your people are sent. See on the streets I would've bust you, but in prison I come cut you. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. K-Fraud TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Want to tell everybody welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a homeboy of mine that I met while I was incarcerated that is never coming home. That found himself stuck inside a prison on the other side of that fence for the rest of his life, because of some things he did while he was under the influence of being on alcohol. Now, don't get me wrong, this video isn't, to tell people, say no to alcohol and stuff like that. You do what you like to do. I have nothing against people that like to drink frequently or turn up, get crunk or whatever. I'm just here to share this story of an individual that I met that was such a cool individual whose life got balled up and thrown away like a piece of paper, all because he made the wrong choices while he was drinking. Okay, now when I first met this individual inside of prison, when we first met, we didn't really see eye to eye. All right, and the reason for that is he was black, I was white, so in his eyes I'm white. I can't be that cool probably, especially in a place like prison. You get what I'm saying? White boys, they never really look at as cool. You feel me? You gotta earn respect that's not given. Like it's harder for a white boy to do a bid than it is someone of any other race. Now, it wasn't like he was fully against me because of my skin color. It was just he didn't really care to meet me, and I really didn't care to meet him either. So the shoe fit on both ends. And I remember seeing him seeing me, we would just see each other and we'd have that split second eye lock. Like y'all are walking and y'all just happen to look at each other and keep it pushing. You feel me? And never really had nothing against him, and then one day we ended up having to talk inside of the library. And the reason for that is because he rented a book, I rented a book, and we were basically both trying to do the same thing. We weren't even supposed to be in the library, but we slid into the library for 2 separate different reasons, I guess. And in order to, get back out without getting caught by Security 9, we had to, sneak out. Well, we sat at a table together, made it look like we were reading our books, because a lot of inmates can literally, go to the library and check into the library, get a book or a magazine and sit down and read it for a little while. So we sat at the table real quick, trying to find our quickness to dart up outside the door to, go wherever we were going. And the only table that we both managed to sit at, there was another inmate at. Now, like I said, don't know him, he don't know me. That other inmate that's sitting there happens to open a soda, inside of the library. Now, don't get me wrong, you're allowed to have soda inside of prison. They have certain ones on the canteen list. But they don't let you crack open food and drinks inside of the library. So since he cracked open the drink, he got away with it. I wasn't really paying attention or worrying about that. I'm trying to wait to get my escape route up out of the library without the library staff seeing me and telling Security 9 that I'm not supposed to be in here. Feel me? Because then I'm going to go to confinement
for unauthorized area. The damn third inmate sitting at the table managed to spill his drink. So when he spilled the drink, that's when it was a problem. It caused a scene because he's like, oh shit. And we looked, he looked. Security 9 happened to get called now because he brought a beverage inside of there. Big old thing to where me and him were both like, man, this bullshit. So by us saying this bullshit and Security 9 was there, found out he wasn't supposed to be in there, I wasn't supposed to be in there. The other dude wasn't supposed to have no food or beverages in there. It made it to where me and him had something in common now. We both in trouble. So Security 9 was like, y'all sit there and talk amongst each other and, you know, better come up with a good story when I get back or else y'all are going to confinement. So we had no choice but to kind of like what, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't none of my business what you were doing, you feel me? But I was trying to, shit, same thing. All right, so why we don't tell them? So we made up a little boo-foo story. I don't really remember what it was that we told Security 9. And it worked. When he came back, he let us go. And after that day, when me and that inmate would see each other and lock eyes, we nodded. That's how we met. You feel me? Now, later on, we ended up running into each other, you know, in confinement. And then we ended up running into each other on the rec yard. And before you know it, we became cool. You know, we were on the rec yard doing dips together and stuff like that, chopping it up, vibing. You know, every time we'd see each other, found ourselves talking more frequently. And then, before you know, we kind of knew each other now, you know, like we would vibe, you feel me? And like if he was in line with his dorm waiting for chow and my dorm's eating next, he'd fall to the end of the line. I'd go to the front of my line just so we could sit at the same table, sit there, chop it up, vibe. We'd go to rec on the same days just so we could link up. You know what I'm saying? Go to the library, go to, you know, medical sometimes just to chat. You know, we became cool. And he gave me the rundown on why he landed in prison. Now, he found himself, you know, under the influence of alcohol. And when he found himself under the influence of alcohol, he ended up catching, you know, a charge, right? He woke up, blacked out, didn't know what he was charged with, didn't remember what happened. Apparently he was wasted drunk and he caught, you know, it was a car accident, you know, it was a manslaughter murder, right? And what they ended up doing was there was more to it. I guess he got into a fight with somebody where he was, beat their ass real bad, you know. And then when he got in the car, sped off wherever he went, he ended up getting in a car accident from being drunk and ended up catching like a vehicle manslaughter charge. And due to that, they added all the charges together from every charge he committed, damn near like running lights, hitting signs, you know, all the reckless driving, the fight from who he beat up, where he was at, didn't have a license when he was driving, like all this different stuff, and he ended up getting a life sentence inside of prison. Now, I don't know if it was because of his priors, you know, which he told me he didn't have no priors. That's what made it kind of like, you know, in my mind, like, damn, it's your first, you know, fuck up. And bam, they got you, you know? But he could have had run-ins with the law that didn't like him, so they made more stick. You know what I'm saying? They could have hated how much he got away with before, any other time, you know? And he found himself inside of prison for life, okay? Now, when you look at that and you think about it, you're like, damn, it can't get no worse than that. You know, you think about it like, that's got to be the worst, bro. You feel me? Now, what really made me open my eyes even more is once you think you're in the worst situation, there can actually be a worser situation that you haven't came across yet. And there's always somebody out there with a worser situation than yours, you know? So since he was drunk and under the influence, he wasn't able to control himself, you know, from committing and breaking the law this way he did, right? So he found himself inside of prison with an elbow as a sentence, right? But what really was crazy to me is I was looking at his name tag. And when I looked at his name tag, I seen he had a different digit. He didn't have a 0. Normally you have a 0 when it's your first time in prison. You feel me? And then it'll be an A for your second time, a B for your third, you know, it goes up. So when I noticed he had an A letter, I knew clearly if this is his first time ever in prison, he had to have gotten an ad charge since he's been locked up. So I'm thinking maybe he fought a guard before, or, you know, maybe he caught a battery on an inmate or something petty. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, from worse to worser, is he actually murdered someone inside of prison also. So when he was telling me this, I'm like, for real? He was like, yeah. So he made a second mistake. And the reason I say that this was a mistake was because this inmate he murdered, he was drunk in prison when he did it. And I said, what? He was like, yeah, man, I just couldn't shake, you know. I loved to drink when I was on the streets. So when I came to prison, you know, it's like, and I got a life sentence. It's like I'm banned from freedom for life because I was drinking, you know, and I didn't want it to haunt me my entire life in here. So I wanted to get over, you know, the fact of the alcohol. So I wanted to, you know, enjoy myself. And he said that he chose to get drunk and then kill this inmate that backdoored him on some money. So I'm like, what you mean he backdoored you? He was like, well, you know, we did a transaction, you know what I'm saying, on Cash App and PayPal and stuff like that. And basically his people sent the money, so I gave him the product, and then like a month and a half later, his peoples disputed that. So it ended up going back to my account and withdrawing the money that they gave me. So I feel like he basically one-upped me. And I'm thinking like, damn, well, he basically did. You get what I'm saying? That'd be like somebody owing me, let's say 50 soups. So I have one of y'all that are watching this video right now. Allow them to put the 50 soups inside of your locker. Boom. So then they put the 50 soups inside of your locker, right? Boom, there's the soups. And then now you got my soups, but you pay me back with something else. So now that you pay me back with something else, boom, you know, I'm going to spend my money where I spend my money. Do whatever I do with it. That means them 50 soups inside that locker are yours now. And then they come back and they take them 50 soups. That means that you just got the shit end of the stick. And that's the way he basically broke it down. It was like he wasn't even the person that did the transaction for the product. It was more like he collected the money for someone, and then that person basically paid him off to where he was able to keep that as his payment. And then later on when they came and they took whatever back, it was from his actual account to where he took the loss. You feel me? So I was like, well, why you didn't just go to the first dude? The dude who, you know, who did the transaction with him. And basically because he already covered that with that guy. He already gave that guy what the dude had paid. So now what he has is his. You feel me? Which that makes sense. If somebody owes you 50 bucks and they give it to me for you, and then I have your 50 bucks, you feel me? And then I send you 50 bucks, you're paid off. It's a flat fee. I didn't make no money or nothing. But then that person who owed you 50 bucks all of a sudden double back and you know, disputes the money out of my account. Now I get hit with 50. You mean I can either come at you like, hey bro, you got over on me. If it happened right then and there, like a day or two later, then I'd feel like that person did it. But since it was a month or so later and the person that he was cool with was the dude that he owed the money to, guaranteed the other person who was wrong. So when he went and confronted the dude said, I'll contact my people and see what they say. And then he said that basically the dude said that his family said they don't know why they disputed it. It shows a dispute, but ain't nothing they could do about it. Sorry. So he said one night he waited and, you know, he got drunk. I said, real shit, did you drink buck or street alcohol? He's like, I drank street alcohol a bunch of times. He's like, but for this night here specifically, I drank a whole Zephyr Hills bottle filled with chain gang buck. And he's like, and then I said, I'm gonna go stab the shit out of this dude. And I'm like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah, because alcohol seemed to take the pain away with what I go through in life. And he went up to the inmate, caught the inmate slipping wherever he got him, and he said he gutted him like a fish. That's exactly how he said it. He's like, I gutted that boy like a fish, frog. And I said, all right. And he's like, yeah. And then he was like, the crazy thing about it, what made it worser than worse, is he ended up getting an appeal. And when he got the appeal, it was for the charge he was initially in there for, and they took his life sentence back. and only gave him like 25 years instead of life. He already had been in there like 11. I know you look at it, 25 years is still a long time, but it's better than a life sentence. You know, you could still have a date. You understand? And then since he did 11, he had 14 left to go. Probably had like, with the percentage that they do in Florida, he would have fell under the old guidelines where it was like 80% instead of 85. He probably would have had like 9 years left until he went home. So, you know, and then the time I've been out right now, from when I seen him in there, he literally would have like 3 years left till he went home. You feel me? So he got 25 by giving that time back, but was still stuck with a life sentence over his head because for that inmate he killed, they gave him a life sentence on it. Why? Because he was already serving life. See, the reason I say that is because people hurt people inside of prison all the time, right? And down here in Florida, I've seen way more people get a slap on the wrist than to get a life sentence for killing another inmate. An inmate's life is worthless compared to a civilian. You do that to somebody on the streets, they're gonna try to bam you, throw football numbers at you inside of the courtroom. You do it to someone inside of prison, you might get more time in prison for the knife, for the length of the weapon you used, than the actual crime you committed. You get what I'm saying? Once you become state property, it's like a slap on the wrist, to be real with you. You feel me? Depending on the circumstances of the crime. Like if it was a brutal, just ran in there, choked them out, knocked them out, and then just hit them up like fucking 516 times, then yeah, they're gonna bam you. But if it was like, you just came around the trial hall building, grabbed him, boom, boom, hit him up 2-3 times, he died, you got away, and then they found out it was you, they're not gonna give you no elbow. You know, they might give you 7 to 12 years, maybe 15. You feel me? That's how it works in the system. So I feel like they gave him life due to the fact that he already had life, or because he gutted him like a fish, like he said. But the moral of the story is, it went from worse to worser because he could have been coming home soon. You understand? And no matter how cool an individual is, you know, some people that are cool make mistakes. Some people make mistakes more than they should. In this case, my homeboy made more than he should have. You feel me? He shouldn't have gutted that dude like a fish, you know? But it's easier to say now than it is to actually do it, because at the time when he did it, his mind frame was different. He had an elbow. He had life. You understand? He wasn't coming home. Dude played with his money. He wanted to kill him, and that's what he did. You see what I'm saying? And he got charged for it. And the consequences is now he's never coming home. There's no appealing that one unless you pull the rabbit out of the hat and know a magic trick that I don't know. You see what I'm saying? But I know it's got to hurt him every day to just think about my first charge that I was in here for. I could be going home soon. That time should be up with. That timer should be running out. But due to this new charge, I got a life sentence still hanging over my head. You feel me? And I told him, I was like, damn, dog, I don't want to, you know, sound green or not when I tell you this, dog. But I said, you know, you deserve to be in here, dog. And he was like, what you mean? I said, you're a cool individual, you feel me? But at the same time, dog, you know, you got more leeway, dog. You know, God blessed you with this appeal. And you kind of threw it out the window before you got the chance of the blessing. Before you could receive your blessing, you kind of messed it up. You know what I'm saying? And it was all because he couldn't shake alcohol. He said if he didn't drink alcohol that night, he wanted to kill them. He waited until the buck orders came in for him to actually do it. You feel me? Like I said, he was a cool individual. You feel me? He didn't let people get over on him or play with him or try him or nothing like that. He was about his business. But he used his hands more than anything. But when he would drink, he got violent. So me knowing that about him made me realize, since I've never seen him drunk, it made me realize there's a side of him and a person within that I don't know. You know, there's a side of him as an individual that frogs never met. And 9 times out of 10, it's the individual who they gave them life sentences to. You feel me? He could not shake that alcohol. And I know how it is, man, growing up, you know, it's tough. Some people can shake it, some people can't, you know. And some people feel like they're not alcoholics, or, you know, they feel like they do it just to ease the pain or anything. Or some people just do it, you know, for recreational. They do it just to sit back and feel relaxed. Like I said, I was one of those ones when I was younger, man, straight out the bottle. You feel me? To where by the time I was 21, it wasn't even fun drinking. We've been doing that shit since I was 13. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of, you know, I've been in situations to where I've seen how more violent and how more hands-on and angry I get under the influence of alcohol. So I can only picture, yeah, he made a mistake. He was under the influence of the alcohol, but nobody had fire to his head to force him to drink that alcohol. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it's one of those things to where it's his own fault for drinking that made those mistakes. You see? And then you're in prison, you get drunk again and kill an inmate. I mean, that right there is like, I don't see you shaking back from both of those. The first one, boom. But the second one, and now he's got to sit in there and he's got to deal with it. You feel me? And the older he gets, the wiser he's going to be. He's going to realize, damn, I would have been out there right now if I wanted to just did that, you know. But then also you got to look at it this way, y'all. You don't know if the person that he was going after would have came after him first. You see, you got scaredy cats inside of prison. You got people that are scared they're going to get got, so they'll jump the gun and come first. So that dude could have been plotting to come stab him first too. And he just did that to make sure he was first. You see, so it's like, it's a tricky situation. But like I said, it's from bad to worse, you know. And it's crazy because you got people in there that have the extra letter that they've been charged since they've been in prison. You know what I'm saying? That have caught bodies or whatever it is. Like I told a long time ago, there was an inmate in there named Handball. He caught a life sentence, but he got sentenced as a juvenile. They took it back to where they can't give juveniles life inside of Florida. So he was supposed to be going home. And this dude was like 60-something years old. And he was supposed to be going home now. But he had another murder that he caught inside of prison. So that stopped him from going home. You see? And there's loopholes that come later on down the line. But as far as killing another inmate inside of prison, you know, if they charge you with that, it's going to be kind of hard to beat. Because just like when they write you a disciplinary report, a DR, whatever that paperwork says is what it is. You get what I'm saying? They're going to make it stick. You feel me? That's what they're going to do with that paperwork if they charge you. You know, on the streets, the cops do so much paperwork, they just write whatever, and sometimes they leave loopholes. Well, inside of prison, when they do decide to write that paperwork, they're going to do the hardest they can to make it stick. You feel me? And it sucks that he'll never be getting out without a miracle, but I just wanted to share y'all, you know, share his story with y'all and let y'all know alcohol can be the devil. Now, if y'all think he was right for doing what he did, you know, to the dude who tried him with his money, which I feel like he was right and wrong. That's my opinion. You get what I'm saying? Like in his situation, I feel like there was a no right and a wrong. It was kind of like equal in my end. But due to him getting what he got, it's like the consequence was not, you know, worth the reward. You feel me? Like him doing it was not worth a whole nother life sentence. So I feel like that's my opinion. You feel me? But that's what the comment section's for. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think. And have y'all ever came across somebody when you were locked up that caught an additional time while they were in there? Because it happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you meet some cool people inside of prison. But then again, you're locked in 4 walls with chain link fences and barbed wire, chicken razors, all that shit wrapped around it. So a lot of times you don't really know them individuals, because the real them is how they are on the streets. That comes with friends of yours, that comes with enemies of yours. You might meet someone in prison that's a stone cold killer that's an enemy of yours, and you see them on the street and they dress like a green bean, like a square, like Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And you'd be like, damn, that dude was slinging fucking bangers up the road and wetting people up. Don't even look like that on the streets. Or you might see someone inside of the chain gang that's hush mouth. stays to himself. They scary as hell, you feel me? But then see them on the streets, they packing pistols, shooting at people, riding, grinding, slanging dope, hustling. You'll be like, damn, that boy different on the street than he was on the road. Or you might have a homeboy on the road. I've been there plenty of times where we like this up the road, boy. Can't nothing come between us, boy. I'm behind my knife, boy, about you. You behind your knife about me, and we rocking. And then get on the streets and they become something that they truly, never really was. And you look at it like, damn, they just in a phase right now, dog. But nah, when they were locked up with you, that was when they was in a phase. You became cool with them when they was in the phase, locked up. The person on the streets is the real them. You feel me? And it just sucks for my homeboy. He was a cool individual in there. Like I said, we were straight. But on the streets, he was a menace. He did some menace stuff, clearly. If you can have access to alcohol at any time, you're not a comfortable person to be on the streets. That's my opinion, you feel me? I hope one day, a miracle pops up and he can make it work and figure it out somehow. But I just want to come on here and let y'all know how it goes when it comes to alcohol. If you're somebody that can't handle your liquor, man, make sure you know what you're doing and peep your surroundings. Because a good night can go from a good night like that to one like this. Demon time. Just being real with you. But alrighty, y'all, that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button on the way out. Drop in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Like I said, if y'all have ever seen anybody locked up that caught more time, or if you've seen anybody that had an elbow, which is a life sentence, catch an additional life sentence while they are locked up. If you have, drop it in the comment section. One more thing I want to let y'all know is, man, stay tuned over here on this channel. I know a lot of people have been messaging me talking about, oh, are you going to game back over here? Because a couple months ago, I gamed a couple times on this channel. I'm going to be streaming Call of Duty over here. I'm going to keep my main game that I be playing over there on my gaming channel. But over here, I'm going to be streaming some Call of Duty so we could shred some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll be letting people get in and shred with me. So y'all look forward to that. You feel me? But I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all know, like I always say, make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, and clout chasers out your circle. And until next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.
I'm a criminal. I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though.
I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though. Cause I'm a criminal. Yeah, I'm a criminal.